Hey guys, I hope you're well. I want to show you a bit of Spanish guitar stuff today. It's a few, what I like to call building blocks, a few little concepts that you can piece together and make a song or an improvisation, and it's designed to be put together with other lessons that I've taught in the past and will teach in the future, and of course other information you will learn elsewhere on YouTube or from any other guitar source, which you should always be learning as much as you can from as many different sources as possible. So firstly, I've got a capo at the 4th fret. You don't need to use a capo, you may not have a capo. I recommend getting one. You can usually get one for 10 or 20 bucks, depending on what country you're in and what currency you're using and stuff like that. But everything I say today will be perfectly relevant without the capo. I just happen to have the capo on my 4th fret today. And actually, my guitar is tuned down ever so slightly. I was playing some Gypsy Kings this morning. I'm learning a particular Gypsy King song, and on that recording, their guitars were tuned slightly below standard, but slightly above a half step down with the capo on the 4th fret. So I'm in Gypsy Kings mode, and if you try and tune with a tuner and play along with me, it will sound slightly out of tune, so you'd have to tune down a little bit to play along with me, but I don't really recommend playing along with me anyway. You should just pick up your guitar and your tuning and play. You don't need to play along with me. So that's just a disclosure. I'm tuned slightly below standard. Usually I'm always in standard tuning. And we got the capo. So without further ado, there's going to be a bit of an intro to this piece, a little lick, and there's going to be some chords. The intro is one of my favorite techniques. We're going to use quite a heavy legato technique, so hammer-ons and pull-offs. I'll play for you for a second some ideas, and then I'll show you how you can do things like that as well. Something like that. Quite a traditional, evocative Spanish guitar style sound. So that first one, I'm on the A string, and I'm just going 2, 3, 2, 0, 2. I'm playing the open low E string as well. 2, 3, 2, 0, 2. And the interesting thing about it is that it's just one stroke. In this case, I'm using my thumb. You can use a pick or a finger. I'm using my thumb. I'm only strumming that first note, that 2nd fret note, and then the rest of it just comes from the left hand. That's a very Spanish style sound. So I encourage you to practice that. If you've never practiced anything like that before, that's just 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 2, 0. That in itself is a really great thing to practice if you're not familiar with that technique or it's not sounding great. Just. And the way I'm going to start doing my YouTube videos, or the way I have started doing them quite recently, is basically this lesson will increase in complexity and difficulty as the lesson goes on. So if at any point of this video I'm starting to lose you, it's not making sense, it's getting a bit whatever, or something just tickles your fancy, you go, hey, that's really cool. It's designed that you just turn the video off, you pause it, and you pick up your guitar and you play. So I don't need you to sit here till the end, whatever. I need you to get inspired to play your guitar, and after that, whatever happens is a success for both of us. So that kind of concept. Now I'm going to go to the D string, same kind of thing. You can really tell a little bit of a story just with that 0, 2, 3 and a flurry of hammers and pulls. And then the second time I did it, I was incorporating the 5th fret with my pinky. A little bit more difficult to bring the pinky in, but definitely worth it for the cool sound. That's another one you can do. The pinky can do that slide from the 5th to the 6th. It goes well with a nice big E major chord. So there's an idea for you. Hopefully that will get some of you feeling good and feeling inspired and already feel like you learned something today. Now we're going to go A minor chord. Probably you know this A minor chord. Maybe you don't know this voicing, which is where we incorporate a B note. We use our pinky to play the 4th fret. Much more interesting, much more colourful. So really, I guess theoretically it would be something like an A minor add 9 or something like that, or something like that. A minor add 9, I would probably call that. It's just an A minor chord, but with the pinky playing the 4th fret note instead of the 2nd fret note. And you can incorporate that chord, you can alternate between that add 9 and the usual A minor. Alternating between the two of them. And if you've watched my videos before a couple times, you'll know that, for example, here my pinky finger's free. It's a great chance to play some other notes with that pinky. So the 3rd fret looks to be a nice place, and we know that it sounds good. So there's some ideas and concepts for you there. There's that interesting A minor chord, and there's using that pinky. Then we change to an E. Big fat E major chord, one of the absolute fundamentals of Spanish style guitar, flamenco style guitar. And in this case, what I was having some fun with is, once again, bringing the pinky in. It's playing that 3rd fret note on the D string. And when I say 3rd fret, I'm ignoring the capo. So usually in the chord, you're fretting the 2nd fret. We're bringing that 3rd fret. Putting that finger down at the 3rd fret gives a real dissonance, that gives a real Spanish guitar flavour. And we can change the chords again. This is that A minor 9. E. Still with me this far as well, something I love to do with the E is just basically take the fingers off and hammer it back on, so it'll be like. Now that just series of open strings, we don't think of that, I don't think of that as a particular chord or harmony, it's just literally the open strings. And just like we were doing the legato before on the single notes, I suppose you could try doing it on the chord. It's pretty cool. You can try on the A as well. Generally, if I'm doing it with an A, I'll actually do an A major. I like to move that A major shape around. And once you've had a good little bash with your interesting A minor chords and ideas and your E major chords and ideas, back to that legato technique. Hopefully that gives you some inspiration, some ideas. There was plenty of different ideas in there, so even if you just take 1 or 2 of those and, as I said, pick up your guitar and get yourself playing, that will be a tremendous success for both you and I. I hope you have a good day playing and practicing. I hope you learnt something big or small today, and I hope you come back next time. Thank you very, very much. Leave me a comment, let me know how you went.